All eyes were on South Carolina yesterday as Governor Nikki Haley made the announcement at the State House that it was time to take the Confederate battle flag down from the State House grounds. And of course, this has been a very controversial issue. We have one side speaking about heritage, you have another speaking about how offensive the flag is. And this morning we want to take a more in-depth look into this. So of course this morning we have Matt Moore here with us, who is the chairman of the South Carolina GOP party. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Freddie.
Thank you so much for being here.
Good to see you.
First off, your reaction to Governor Nikki Haley saying yesterday at the press conference that it's time to take the flag down.
Well, I want to begin this morning by paying respect and remembering those lives that were lost last week. There's 9 people. Their lives were lost simply because they were African Americans openly worshiping. And that's a good starting point for this debate. Some have asked, why now? And that's an important starting place.
An important starting place for healing. We've heard some of the family members are able to forgive, and many people are saying now to start the healing process. Do you believe that yesterday was a starting point?
I think it was. I think Governor Haley and many others showed courage, but the courage we've seen from these families in Charleston, from Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston, has simply been stunning. The fact is, look, the Confederate flag for many does represent heritage. My own ancestors fought in the Civil War, but for too many others it represents division. And those are divisions I think we can heal in this state, and that's really what's the true message here.
Talk to us, what have you been hearing from your constituents after it happened, and of course the online manifesto and things started coming forward showing the flag? What have you been hearing? Well,
no one's always going to agree on this issue, or any issue really. And of course opinions are divided. I do think though that our Republican leaders and Democratic leaders here in South Carolina are committed to doing something different going forward. That one great thing about this country being a representative democracy is that opinions can change and decisions can change, and what's best for South Carolina in 2015 is maybe different than what's best for South Carolina in the year 2000. That we can't change our past, and we don't want to change our past, but we can heal our future.
Speaking about that, do you believe that it would have been a slap in the face of the victims? Many people are saying this if no action was taken as it relates to the symbol of the flag.
Well, I think I am so grieved by the fact that that Senate mates or Senate friends of Clementa Pinckney or others, family members, possibly would be forced to walk by the flag and think of Clem Pinckney every time they saw it. And I think there's maybe a better location for the flag, that it's on our state's front porch there at the State House. And look, no one is saying that we should wipe the state clean of our history or flags or monuments, but maybe that the state's front porch, the front of the State House, is not the best place for the flag.
And so last question, Matt, really last question, really quick, we have a few seconds. What do you say to those who are watching who are saying, no, I don't agree with the governor, it needs to stay there?
I would encourage them to see it from a moral perspective, that if anything does not bring peace or mutual edification with our South Carolina brothers and sisters, maybe we ought to rethink it and seek to do things that reflect our state's history in a more positive way.
All right, Matt Moore, thank you so much for that. Of course, we're going to be back with Matt after the break. We have some questions that some of you are asking on Facebook, and we're going to let Matt answer some of those. We're back after this. Well, welcome back to Good Day Columbia. Before the break, folks, you heard from GOP Chairman Matt Moore. We were talking about the controversy surrounding the flag and also yesterday's breaking news from Governor Nikki Haley calling for the flag to be removed from the State House grounds. And of course, this topic, very controversial. Many of you all have reached out to Facebook to express how you feel about it, some for and some against it. Joining us once again is Matt Moore. He is back. Matt, we have a few questions. Just wanted to read some of these questions to you. This one coming from Facebook, Carlos says, will the General Assembly discuss removing the flag during this week's legislative session or in July when they return to vote on the budget vetoes? What do you think?
I believe they'll debate this in the coming weeks. This week, of course, is the funerals for many of the victims last week. They're dealing with budgets today and this week, so it seems likely they'll deal with this issue beyond this week.
All right. Joseph Bowers says this: why do you want to open, well, not you, but why do you want to open a wound that was closed by Senator Ford's bill back in 2000?
Sadly, the wound was ripped off, the Band-Aid was ripped off the wound last week by this killer in Charleston. So let's put blame here where blame is due, that this killer ripped a terrible wound back open in South Carolina. I think we can fix it in a positive way. And those who would say this desecrates the flag, the true desecration of the flag is those who have twisted it for their own sick purposes, as this shooter did. And so we'll have a very positive and unifying debate going forward.
And the last question coming from Lauren Waring here on our Facebook page. Why now as opposed to any other time? And I guess you kind of...
Yeah, I've kind of have addressed that before. But it's important as leaders that we don't always do the easy things. And we can do the hard things, and we should do the hard things. And for many in this state, this is a very difficult issue to discuss. But that doesn't mean it should not be discussed. So I'm confident in the next couple of months that our legislature will come back and deal with this issue.
So what do you think, last question here, Matt, what do you think? I know the governor's calling it to be removed from the State House grounds. Should it be placed in a museum? Should it be placed maybe somewhere else, a historical marker? Yeah,
I think the governor and others have suggested that maybe the State Museum is a place where the flag might best be located. And the fact is that no one's suggesting that other monuments around the state be moved, no monuments on the State House grounds, but just that flag there on the State House grounds on the front steps maybe isn't the best front porch symbol for the state, and that maybe a museum or somewhere else is the best place for it.
Matt Moore, chairman of the GOP party here in South Carolina, thank you so much for being here this morning. Really appreciate it.